Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Contest of Speed Crossplay 2. We're live from the streets of Singapore, at least the virtual version at least. And we're here for round number 16 of the championship. Got plenty of people in the chat. My name is Dan. I'll be commentating for you this evening. Sat alongside me. I can't believe it's happened. It's been so long. The mighty Ricky. Quality. Yeah, we've got... I did. Well, I mean, I won't go into too much detail of last night for many reasons. One of which people won't be interested. We did okay last night. Me and the Wizard got ourselves the constructors title, wrapped up for the greatest team in history.
Yeah, sorry, I was just working on my settings. It went a little bit. Wow, I was still in mute, but KMB, a new driver for Alfa Romeo, replacing Simo, whose attendance was to be desired, shall we say?
Sketchy at best, was it?
Sketchy at best. We've got a couple of new reserves. Desi, who will be in the McLaren tonight, as well as, dare I say it, Yugurl, who will be replacing Cornish Cook in the Ferrari.
Oh, it's a shame to lose Cornish. He's been one of those performers that's not necessarily near the front, but he's always consistent. He's always consistently scoring points as well, which is a shame to lose him. But we're going to have to figure out a way of pronouncing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna guess he's from Turkey because that's the kind of feeling I'm getting with that sort of pronunciation.
Do you know what? He's in a Ferrari. I'm going to go bold. I'm going to call him the Guru.
The Guru. I like that.
Guru currently third in the standings because he's not had a lap set yet. He's still in the pits. He's going to lose that time. But, yeah, it was a race of attrition last night. We only had 8 cars finish out of a starting grid of about 15. So Singapore, as always, taking its toll on some of the cars. Of course, in crossplay, we've got dynamic weather as well. So there's the possibility of a shower or two as the evening wears on. With any luck, we'll get some messages in the stream chat about whether or not that is the case. Dry at the moment, though.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about Singapore, especially with the dynamic weather system. You know, you can get it, but also the strategy as well. You know, along with the dynamic weather, there's a couple of factors, and I feel like this is a track where the wheel-to-wheel is quite basic, but all these variables make it very, very interesting, especially on the strategy side of things.
Yeah, and I mean, we found last night that we can sort of bring forward. It's not sort of any sort of kind of hidden knowledge. The soft tyre is only good for qualifying. You've got maybe 3 or 4 laps on that tyre before it starts to either overheat, degrade, or just completely fall off a cliff. So don't expect to see that tyre when we come to the race unless people are going to go for something particularly booky, or there's a late safety car and we get a sprint to the finish. Medium and the hard tyre are going to be the preferred race tyre. So we get our first timed lap of the evening, 1:37.858 for KMB.
Yeah, and Red Bull, Williams have already wrapped up the constructors. Of course, only 78 points available with these final 3 remaining races. So they have won the XP2 division, as we've got an Alpha Atari spinning across turn 1. On board with Kiabo. Kiabo definitely someone who, it's been a strong team, hasn't it, Williams? I mean, you've commentated all season.
It has, yeah. Yeah.
And PW Jones has won the drivers, but Kiabo has been equally as quick.
He has. The only thing with Kiabo's been his inconsistency in terms of retirements. He's had a fair few, whereas Jones has just sort of plodded along and he's finished, I think, every race so far. And finished them all well. So, you know, it's as much as it's about winning races and being fast, you've got to be consistent as well across the season, particularly the longer seasons like we have. Across this season's 18 races. You don't want to sort of hang about and win maybe 2 or 3 races, but then not finish all the others, because you'll be high up the standings, but you're not going to win.
Yeah, exactly. You need constant podiums and top 5s, really, and that's where PW Jones, he hasn't really been involved with any incidents, has he? I mean, he's been very, very sensible, kept it clean.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of incidents he had at Monza. I think there was one a few weeks ago, and then maybe early on in the season when there's always incidents early on in the season. People are finding their feet. They're trying to test other drivers, you know, to see what they're like, what they can sort of push the boundary of where you can push a driver and where you can sort of get away with not backing out of a corner. And sometimes that leads to tears, but for the majority, to be honest, for the majority of the season, this team's been pretty well behaved. It's not really been a dramatic group of drivers. Of course, tonight may prove me wrong on that front.
Yeah, Singapore.
Some fresh blood, full grid. Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore. Yeah.
But I don't think I would be mistaken in saying I don't think we've ever had a bad race round here. In terms of, it might not necessarily be the most exciting race and all, but then there'd be a tactical battle, or there would be something dramatic happen, or there'd be something controversial happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it seems to have that allure about it, this track, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the strategy because it's such a long lap. I'm not sure the undercut's the way to go around here, because it takes so long to get them tires up to temperature. I feel like you'd lose the advantage. You might be able to get it while the driver's regaining heat into the tire, but I feel like some of these drivers are going to try the overcut.
Yeah, last night we found, depending on what compound you go into, you can get up to a 2-lap overcut on whoever pits first. If you're going from hards to mediums, or if you're going to use the softs, then you might be able to try an undercut. It just depends how confident you are at being able to get them up to temperature and then not overheating them. But going to the hard tyre, you really want to try and overcut if you can, just so that you've got the advantage later on in the lap, later on in the race.
Well, we're going to go on board down with someone who you know personally and who's returned, shall I say. It is, of course, Hilly. Since his return, he's racing in EU1 and now XP2. And I think he's had a bit of time off, hasn't he? But he's refound his love for racing again.
He has, yeah. He's got his passion back, found some time, and he's back with the league, which is only a good thing. Very, very pleasant individual, very, very quality racing driver as well. Annoyingly, he started off behind me and has rapidly improved and overtaken me, so I have to hold my hands up and tell him he's quicker, which none of us like to do. We're all racers at heart, even depending on whether we're good or not, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. It's
We all like to dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? How one game you're quick and then the next you can lose that pace. But yeah, Hilly's someone who, when he is practicing, very, very consistent. In fact, this game, he did find a bit of pace before he stopped racing. He
did, yeah.
Did he go from EU3 to EU1 or something?
He did, yeah, straight jump. Which, of course, isn't the norm. Normally you'd have EU2 in the middle, and you'd improve your pace that way. But he went straight up to EU1 with the pace tests, and he's one of those guys who started out right at the bottom in EU4 as well. So similar to an old teammate of yours in Matrix, that he worked his way all the way through.
Quick. Yeah, he was
all
quick
the way
Matrix. And I was just about to say Hilly hasn't had the best of luck, but he's still at P1 for now. It did look a messy lap there from Hilly, so I expect plenty of time to be improved next time round.
Yeah, he missed a couple of apexes, didn't he? I think hairpin after the Anderson Bridge, and then at that right-hander at the end of the third DRS zone. Sort of the back straight back across the river. I think he missed that apex as well, but he was carrying plenty of speed through at least, so it's not affected him too much.
Apex hasn't entered the vocabulary for Bryson during turn 6 there. He, dare I say, he missed it by a month of Sundays.
You can see, if you've been riding on board with both of them, you can see the difference across the Anderson Bridge between Hilly and Bryson, like the difference in confidence. Hilly was able to put his foot hard down, give it full beams across the bridge, and then get it stopped. Bryson maybe at 3/4 to 80% power across the bridge, and it doesn't sound like much. And with these engines, probably on the face of it, it wouldn't be that much, but that could make the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's that kind of confidence throughout the whole lap as well.
Yeah, and it's such an important track to get a banker in, isn't it? You know, it's one of the longest tracks on the calendar, and yeah, pay attention to that as well. The ERS deployment seems to run out as they come around the last corner. So I just wonder if someone is able to save a little bit towards the end and take advantage of that later on.
Maybe they will. I just had Bloisy cross the line to go second, 37.7, only 600ths behind Hilly. And it's not going again, not got the charge for it. We have seen in the past drivers who were able to use that little bit of nous they've got. Some of the more experienced drivers, they'll turn the ERS deployment off halfway through the lap at a particularly twisty section. It gives them a little bit more traction when they come out of slow corners as well, and it gives them that extra boost at the end if it is going to run out before then.
Yeah.
So I wonder if anybody's going to have that sort of nous about them this evening.
Well, that's potentially where the PC drivers have got a slight advantage, because there are some buttons, certainly on the Club Sport V2 wheel, that buttons simply don't work on the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4, but on the PC you can actually use them, which obviously means you can bind them to certain settings. So I would say in that sense PC drivers are the more likely to use exactly what you just said.
Yeah, and I mean, you can obviously do a button map on the PlayStation as well, but you're limited as, like you say, how many buttons you can actually use. And then, I mean, I know on my wheel there's a rotary dial that you can't use on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
That on PC, I would imagine you can map across to maybe your diff settings, for example, or your brake balance.
Yeah, it's a bit of a joke, really. You can set your brake bias, whatever you want, really. This is pretty good to have, but obviously you could say it's an unfair advantage, but it's one of those, isn't it? What you can't really penalise drivers who have a PC or a certain wheel that can do certain things.
No, and it's one of those things. It's going to be an advantage in some cases, and it's going to be a disadvantage in another. But again, if you're having someone map their buttons on their steering wheel, chances are they're going to be pushing to be some of the best drivers around anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Unless you're like me, and then it's all the gear and no idea.
Oh, you and me both.
Everyone likes someone who puts in a little bit of effort.
Oh yeah, you need the full kit. Arsehole in your friendship group every now and again. Keeps everyone else down to earth.
Talking of returning people, we have got the Red Eye Jedi in the chat. I think it was season 8 he might have raced in Contest of Speed.
Yes. Oh, yes, he knows. He knows. Lean fuel mix on the downshift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those were the days.
Vapes P6 absolutely destroyed the field last week at Imola. This week, it seems as though he is struggling slightly.
Yeah, he was saying in the chat beforehand he doesn't enjoy the track. He's not a street circuit kind of guy. And that seems to be playing out. What is he at the moment? Well, we say that, he's only 3/10 off the pace. Okay, so he's not a million miles away. He might be able to find that and get himself into contention for pole position.
Absolutely, and PW Jones, same time as Cornish Mantis. You know, at a track like Singapore, that's quite impressive to do.
Yeah, it's because it's such a long lap as well. There's so many places you can save and lose time. To have exactly the same is, well, certainly a first, I think, around here for me.
Absolutely, and as I say, you've been commentating all season, Dan. Attendance-wise for XP2, how's that been for?
It's been pretty good actually. We had a little bit of a dip after the first few races. You know, we had, as we always happen to have, you get some drivers who start off and it's not what they expect it to be. So they leave or they find that they can't commit to a full season, so they end up dropping out, and then you have to find replacements. But on the whole, the drivers who are competing in the championships, so your Kiabos, your PW Jones, your Bryson, Hako, Kaganis, Riyadh, Milosh when they joined, STLR as well, Hasmania, Bloisey, they've all been really, really good. Cornish as well. There's been a consistent field of 13 drivers, and then when you count in the ones who are maybe a little bit less consistent and the reserve drivers, you have a healthy field every week. So it's been good. It has been good. It's been refreshing actually to commentate on some drivers that I've not had the knowledge of before. So like all the PC drivers, of course, are new to me. I've been on PlayStation for, well, forever. Practically sort of like built in, like I'm like a dinosaur. So it's been nice to have sort of some unknown drivers to sort of try and gauge like, the tactics for and see if they have a genuine pace advantage and whether they're the stereotypical quali merchants or... Whoa! Big crash from Milosh there. Went straight on at what I think... at turn 8.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, what was the Singapore sling?
Yeah, not no more. But yeah, I mean, just look at it boggles my mind the amount of PC drivers we now have in this division and the league as well. It's definitely become a lot more popular, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's something we've tried to sort of expand into for a very long time. And as you know, when you were here first time round, of course, you had your little sabbatical in the middle. And we're glad you're back, of course.
I'm going for the Pep Guardiola sort of sabbatical.
Yeah.
Come back and win everything.
Yeah, we had an attempt at an expansion to PC and it didn't really work the first time round. Because we still had to keep everything separate, but now we've got crossplay. I mean, we've got all 3 platforms represented here, so we've got... Well, in fact, we've got all 3 platforms represented in the top 3 at the moment.
Yeah, which is excellent, and it's kind of what we want, and we certainly want Xbox. Xbox, I would say, is the one where we don't have too much of.
No.
But certainly, as we slowly introduce them, it's just evident that more come and.
It'll grow. Oh, Hako's gone and spoiled it.
Well, Vipes is coming up to us. Kiabo, 37-0.
Oh.
Vipes has got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. I wonder, it is a slow car ahead of him. Is he going to be able to jump any higher than P8? He's coming around the final 2 corners. As
He's got a quarter of a second advantage after the first two sectors. And oh, look at that, straight up to third.
yeah, and Cornish Mantis is he's run out of fuel. Qualifying over, it's Kiabo, and how many times have we seen this? Just one lap, and he delivered. But KMB, new driver, and I have to ask the question, Dan: have these drivers set up for what could be interchangeable conditions?
Maybe. I think it depends on. I'll have to have a look at the field spread when we get the results up, but. So obviously Kiabo out front now, 1 minute 37.087, so close to the 36s. KMB and Vibes completing the top 3. You've got Hilly, Hacko, Bloisey, Jones, Hasmania, Mantis, Pipetech completing the top 10, and Bryson, STLR, Desi, Kaganis, the Guru, Andre, Nelan, Milosh, and Riyadh. And then Almanac P20, no time set. But the field spread itself, I think if we count out maybe the bottom 3 or 4, because those laps either didn't go to plan or they invalidated or something, we're talking 2 seconds over the course of the field. That's, over a lap this long, that's, I want to say, fairly consistent with what you'd expect, maybe a little bit big.
Yeah, I mean, because it's only one tier, you're going to get some pace difference, aren't you? Obviously, with the merging of the PlayStation divisions next season, these gaps will be majorly different.
Yeah, this was sort of the trial tier, wasn't it? Crossplay 2 for crossplay and combining everything together, and it's been a resounding success, has to be said. Assuming that the next game allows us to use the formation lap as we would like to do, which of course we don't have here, so we're talking away. We've got 5 lights on the gantry. They go out and we go racing here under the lights in Singapore.
Google. So Williams who leads the way. There's a little bit of contact between KMB and Gialbo, but it's as you were, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Hacko down in 5th.
Mantis lightning start up 2 places to P7. Looking at the tyre compounds then that everyone's got at the moment, you've got the majority of the runners starting on the hard tyre, and then mediums for 6 drivers. That's Hilly, Bloisey, Mantis, Hasmania, Bryson and Andre. Everybody else is on the hard tyre. No soft runners at this early stage.
Oh, we got a little bit of action for P14. It's the new guy of Desi. As an Alpine tries to have a look down the inside, it was Kaganis who had a look down the inside, thought better of it. And for now, the McLaren survives. And there we go, a spinner. It's Alfa Romeo. It's Blossy.
It's Bloisey.
He's had a moment, and that'll be a little bit of wing damage as he goes P20.
Yeah, there's some carbon fibre strewn across the track. Potential VSC if that gets any worse later on, but that's all the cars together, so should have chance for a little virtual marshal to totter out there and grab it all. But that's Bloisey now down at the back of the pack when he was in qualifying in the top 5. We've got Milosh I think Milosh is having trouble with his setup, you know, because that's twice he's gone straight on in a heavy braking zone.
Yeah, and there's McLaren of Vipes who's had a moment. Gamer has retired.
Andre's gone. Turn 16.
Oh, we got a spinner. It's not for Romeo. It's KMB. He's seen the barrier. He did. I'm not sure what he's done there. Is he disconnected or something? We got yellow flags, sector 1, 2 and 3. Is this a virtual safety car?
No, it's a full safety car.
It's a full safety car.
It's in the middle of the pack at the moment, just coming through turn 3. I was riding on board with Milosh, who I think has got front wing damage. He had to take avoiding action on Andre's car, which crashed as it was going under the grandstand. He outbraked himself early on. Milosh had to take to the runoff area, did do a reset to track, but I think we can let him get away with that one. Considering he had to sort of dive out of the way. Got himself trapped in a bit of a corner. New front wing as well, I think is penalty enough for him.
Yeah,
and he's going to be at the back of the pack. Hasmania then coming in as well. He's gone to the hard tyre and having a wing change. Bloisey as well came in. Hard tyres for him now. So that stops for the drivers in P17, 18 and 19, because P20 Andre is out of the running now. I will check in a moment if those guys have just gone to a new compound altogether, or just a new fresher set of those tyres. So I know last night I didn't touch the mediums at all. I went hard, soft, hard with a safety car to sort of rotate tyres. So
yeah. I feel like the hard would be a lovely tyre once you get it up to temperature around here, but the first 2 or 3 laps would be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, they're horrible, but it's doable. Once I think it takes between 1.5 and 2 laps to get them to temperature, and then
race leader, dummies going into the pit lane, just giving Hilly something to think about. Really, around here, this safety car doesn't really change anything. You definitely want to have track position. Yes, you could.
You do.
I mean, for the likes of Blossy, was he had to pit. He did hit the barrier. So.
Yeah. KMB is in. Let's have a look. Is this going to be for a wing change, or is this going to be tactical? I see a wing ready.
Yeah, it's got to be a front wing. Around here with no front wing, you're going to be losing 6 seconds a lap.
Fresh set of mediums on, so that's stops for 16, 17, 18 and 19. All have changed compounds. They've all gone from medium to hard or hard to medium. So in theory, those 4 don't have to stop again.
In theory, but...
realistically, they will. The hard tyre could actually make it if they look after it.
I was just about to say, Dan, could he go to the hard again? And because with everyone having to pit ahead of him, he could luck into a safety car later on into the Grand Prix.
He could, yeah. I think he'd be better served at this point, sticking with those mediums and trying to make some headway, and then pitting again if a safety car comes out at the right time. Because if it comes out before sort of lap 15, he's no worse off than he would have been if he sort of goes back to the hards now. It's the gamble he's going to have to take. If he went back to the hards now and it goes and the safety car comes out sort of lap 20, he's going to have to stop for a set of mediums anyway, because everyone around him is going to be so much quicker. And I mean, we've seen drivers pull off defensive masterclasses around here before, but I don't think you can now with 3 DRS zones. Yeah, it would be so tricky to do.
Do you remember season 5 when Varamir hit that barrier that was never out of place, and he retired last lap?
Yeah.
That was yeah, we had some
weird. I was saying earlier. This is what I mean. I was saying this earlier. Like this circuit in cars always has something going on. It doesn't necessarily have to be good racing, but there's always something going on.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, it's like the season 2. Was it season 2 or season 3 Singapore, where it was wet and then there was the pit lane glitch with Jakey Boy?
Yeah, it's got to be season 3, hasn't it, or something like that? Because
you were in the Haas with Matt.
Oh, that was season 2. That was season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah. That's actually when we first raced against each other, and that's what you chided me.
Let's not talk about China. We don't need to talk about China.
Honestly, I still have nightmares with like that. That was insane.
Don't make me bring up Austria.
Yeah. Carry on. What are you going to say?
Wow. Yeah, but even that day, like, with people, because it was mixed conditions, it was wet the whole way through, and it just started to get a little bit heavier at the end. People were having accidents on track. There was a pit lane glitch with Jakey White, and somehow, I ended up with 30 seconds lead at the front of the pack. So I remember it so well. But there's always something going on.
It does sound like a rare occurrence.
Oh!
He's gone deep.
You got on the podium. That's rare as well.
No. Season 6, I was firing.
Yeah. Not anymore, though. He doesn't race anymore. He's a coward. He's scared of us all.
I prefer to be a non-racing person.
He just loves the community.
There we go then. We are getting ready to go. The safety car is heading in. Kiaba will take control. And Williams on the hard now. He'll be happy with that start, won't he, with the safety car?
He will, yeah. Manages to hold position at the head of the pack. Because he's now the de facto pace car until they cross the start-finish line. I think we've just had a coming together further back. Will probably be a penalty coming if there is. But at the moment, everyone getting ready to go racing again. Safety car is now in the pit lane, so Chiavo can go as and when he's ready.
Yeah, and there he goes.
Now gone.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Solid restart.
Yeah, absolutely. And the distances behind are looking pretty good. We got a spinning Ferrari. That looks like Hasmania in the Ferrari. Yeah. So, Dan, you'll be a little bit upset with that as the red ball of Cornish Mantos gets out of shape going through turn 2.
Yeah, we had... well, Hasmania's had to go straight into the pits, so... Not having those fresh tyres up to temperature, so he's now gone to a set of mediums.
Yeah, and K&B is about to make a move on Almanac, and he's loving these new set of medium boots. And he's going to make a double overtake by the looks of it. Oh, he decided, maybe just had a look
at it, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Not close enough.
And you can just see he knows that he has to make the most of this advantage that he's got right now.
Almanac's got some horrible understeer at this stage. He's not got those front tyres up to temperature yet at all.
Oh, it's a lovely move there from K&B. Sends it and makes it stick. That's a beautiful move.
Yeah. Right up the inside of the sling. Kaganis had a look back at him into the hairpin. That's bold if you're going to try one through there. Hacko and Vipes losing 2 positions. Both Red Bulls mucking the McLaren.
Has he got damage?
I think he has, yeah. He's dropping back, isn't he?
Well,
or is he just overheating those tyres? Or underheated the tyres?
I think maybe. Well, he doesn't look to have too much damage, whether or not it's bare minimum, but... Or is this a way of getting his teammate into the race a little bit and maybe hoping to get some good team points?
Maybe. I mean,
there's
the answer. Into the pits,
yeah, there's your answer.
We'll see. I'll stick with him, see what's going on.
There we go. It's going to be wing change for sure.
No, just tyres.
Well, that is an interesting... You know, we've seen last week how much pace he's got, so... Yeah, very odd. Unless he just wants clean air and try something completely different.
Maybe, but why would you then struggle and sort of let people go? You're losing time then to everybody. You might as well try and hold them all up.
Yeah, I agree.
Rather than sort of not letting them go. But
yeah, we've got a battle going on for P10 between the new driver of Desi. I say new driver, he's only reserve. But potentially, I mean, get him a couple of races, might get the taste of it for next season.
Here's hoping.
And Almanac up to P10. He's had a good start to the races, Almanac. He's up 10 positions.
Almanac, one of those drivers he's not a qualifier. He sort of hangs around sort of mid-pack, maybe even towards the rear of the pack, but then in the races he just pops up sort of in the points positions all the time.
Yeah, I'm just
one of his big benefits also.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely has improved. Blossy's retired, going into sector 3, and we've got another safety car. Now, for me, I would probably pit now if I'm on mediums.
Yeah, all the medium runners should come in for hards. I mean, if they've done what me and the Wizard did yesterday and gone for the harder tyre allocation, they'll have 2 sets of hards. So potentially some of the hard runners near the back of the pack going for a little bit of a tyre rotation, put a set of softs on that you've run in qualifying, put a lap on it, put a fresh set of hards on, you can go to the end.
Yeah. Interesting.
Got,
Kiabo's going to the medium. He was race leader on the hard, so he's going medium from here.
same for Hako. Hilly has gone to the hard, so we've got tyre variants in the leaders, or the would-be leaders.
So let's just have a look at the tyres then, because obviously we've had 2 safety cars. I mean, laps out, and this is completely Singapore. But what this does do, it completely throws up what could be the end result with all these mixture of strategies.
Yeah. Because the leaders have all boxed. Everyone else has stayed out. Because they don't have to make a pit stop at this stage. They have to make one before the end of the race, but not right now. Cornish Mantis leading the way from PW Jones. And I've got to be honest, if no one else pits, the likes of Jones, Pipe Tech, Almanac, STLR are in a really, really good position. The guys who started on the mediums and who are still on them, so Mantis and Bryson, of course, they're in a good position. They'll be relying on a safety car later on to really give them the advantage of having those hard tyres at a point they can make them work properly and not lose too much track position. But the guys on the hards and in the front of this stage like this are probably in the best position of anyone. Of course, the other person in a really good spot is Hilly. Hard tyres now, he can go to the end on that set, whereas the 2 guys around him, Kiabo and Hako, are going to have to stop again. Those mediums will not make it from here.
Yeah, but the person who I think's actually in the best position is KMB, because he's already made his 1 tyre choice, so he's going to have to pit again and go to the medium. Because of the way this track is, the field spread is going to be huge to the drivers who have pitted, and they're on the hard tyre. So, I mean, even in Kierbo and Hako, they're on medium. They're going to have to pit again for medium. So, I feel like KMB is in a great position, provided he can get past the hard runners up in front of him. I think he can really make this strategy work.
Yeah, he needs a good restart, doesn't he, from this, and not to fall back anywhere. But what's he done? 5 laps on them, so
yeah,
he'll be looking to come in around lap 14, somewhere between that, 16 to 18. I think he'll be looking to come in somewhere in there. So if he gets a safety car in there, it's win-win. Because that will be when all the hard tyre runners would ideally want to come in for a set of mediums anyway.
Yeah.
So he could be a good shout.
Yeah, and Almanac, he's now up to P7 with a couple of people pitting, or pitted, shall I say?
Assuming that there's no sort of big drama later on, I think PW Jones is probably the favourite right now. And then, do you know, after that, I'm going to say Hilly. Because looking at the pit stops.
Yeah, I just don't like where they are on the track though. I think it's alright being on the right tyre, but you lose so much time and it's so hard to overtake. I'd rather be
The only people in front of Hilly who don't, in theory, have to stop again is Kierbo, obviously, who's we think will because he's on the mediums, and then KMB, who will because he's on the mediums. Everyone else has to make a pit stop at some point, so I don't know. Keep an eye on Hilly as we get into the mid to late 20 laps of the race, assuming that nothing sort of dramatic happens. I'm riding on board, looking backwards from Mantis. He's got a hefty blister appearing on that back left tyre.
I think we're going to see Cornish Mantis go early here. It worked really well for Kiabo last time. And there we go.
He's gone.
Yeah, he has gone. And Bryson has read it pretty well in comparison to PW Jones, who actually now finds some good traction as the Ferrari.
The Guru, no!
The Guru! The Guru's had a moment. Maybe not enough temperature into those tyres, and he's gone around.
He has no damage, though, from what I could see. So he should be good to just carry on. Every cloud, though, those tyres will be warm now.
Yeah, as Hasmania is having a look. Oh, he's got the inside on Kigenis, and that's one position already for Hasmania, who he does this quite often. He has a stinking opening couple of laps and then just gets back into positions.
Finds his groove. Just needs to keep it pointing in the right direction tonight. As we can see there, Hako. Well, Hako and Kiabo on the mediums have made a really, really good restart. Hilly has sort of held position, P14. Of course, those medium runners have to make a lot of ground up. If everything goes to plan, they are going to have to stop again.
Yeah, but more than that, they're going to have to be careful because any sort of damage in that midfield and your race is shot. And I think he's going to have to send up the inside. He sends up the inside.
Hako.
Clean, watch out for the McLaren though of Vapes. He's having a look. This is good a wheel to wheel. Is there any contact? I'm not too sure from that camera view. It looks clean enough.
A bit of argy-bargy, nothing untoward though. McLaren's through.
Oh, near the barrier. K. Guinness is in the barrier. He tried to get it around the outside, and now there's all sorts of issues. Hilly needs to be careful. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Kigenis, he won't be happy with that. A little bit of damage around here. It's an absolute nightmare.
So we had a couple of guys carry on with damage last night, and like you say, it's 6 seconds a lap with wing damage. It almost doesn't matter what level. You're better off taking the whole thing off and knowing you have to pit than sort of damaging one end plate, thinking, oh, I might be able to carry on here.
Oh, Bryson sticking his front wing there. Oh, so tight.
Of course, we've got K and B behind these two as well.
Absolutely.
A fresher set of tyres. Not a million miles away. You've got a fan club in the chat, Ricky.
I don't know who that is. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've streamed, you see. But yeah, welcome in. But yeah, K and B, we talked about it. You know, you're having to make the most of those new tyres. And right now he is. I mean, PW Jones is literally a cork in the bottle.
He is, yeah. Cornish is, well, as someone's pointing out in the chat, BK's pointing it out in the chat, Mantis is gone. He's 2.5 seconds up the road. He's making real use of those mediums. We're going to have, is it DRS this time round?
It should be enabled, I think.
I think it should be, yeah, there should be this, yeah, DRS enabled. So I would imagine Bryson and K&B will make their way past Jones fairly quickly.
Well, I'll tell you what,
see some penalties now.
K&B with that 3-second penalty, despite his good position he's in at the minute, that will not help him later on in the Grand Prix, especially...
Got a spinning Mercedes, that's STLR, turn 3.
And he's not having the greatest of race.
Oh, Bryson's through into second place.
Oh, and I tell you what...
K&B having a look at Jones there, just nips across as you're not having that, son. That's mine.
And it was almost like a dummy, wasn't it? And he still didn't quite manage to get it done. But he's having another go this time. And he should have the ability to brake later. And he certainly does. And he's got the tyre to make it stick.
Yeah, elbows out there. Ran a little bit deep, K&B, but he's made it happen. We don't mind elbows out racing, as long as it's all fair.
Absolutely. I have to say, that was really nice racing from the pair of them.
Aggressive but respectful, that's what we like.
There we go. So we've got Bryson, P2. He's got no one really anywhere sort of near him. Can he close the gap to Mantis?
See, he's already closed 3/10 since he got ahead of PW Jones.
Look at Kiabo. Kiabo absolutely all over the gearbox of Almanac. And it's fresh mediums against older hards. And you got to feel like Kiabo really needs to make this move as soon as possible.
Do you reckon turn 1 or turn 5?
I'm sending it turn 1. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was going to say turn 5, but it sounds like
Yeah.
I'm weighted now.
Yeah, I like the movement to turn 1 on the inside and then just give the old little squeeze on the exit just to compromise their exit. You know, something I was known for is giving little...
Yeah, that and having the widest car in history.
Yes, I do remember. What was that, season 2?
Here goes Kia Modo.
Season 2 USA?
Season 3, I think, because I was in a Ferrari at that point. It wasn't the Mercedes. It was me and...
Matt, was it maybe?
Racer, I think. No, it was me and Andreas in the Ferrari, and then it was you and... Was it you and Varomir, season 3?
No, I was with Matrix season 3.
Yeah. Either way, Kota, horrible to drive behind.
I liked it.
I bet you did. Potentially having a move for P2 here. KMB right in the back of Bryson.
Oh, there's Hasmania's in the barrier. Given no room on first look, and now we've got another safety car, the third one in 12 laps, and now is probably the time to be on the hard tyre. The hards
fresh set of hard tyres now.
Definitely get to the end.
This is where the likes of Healy, Milosh, the Milosh's ghost car, I think he's in the session, are going to be in a good position. Mantis, Bryson, KMB are in. Jones is in.
Almana has chosen to get track position. Oh, sorry, Hilly. Yeah, Hilly, I agree with this move for Hilly. His tyres are going to be a little bit older, but they should be able to get to the end.
Yeah, assuming he's not been too hard on them.
Yeah, and look who's in P2. It's the new reserve of Desi.
Yes.
And
top man.
We got Maya Loz, who can't get back into the game. Are you able to invite Maya Loz?
No, because he's on PC. I can only invite the PlayStation guys, I think.
Right, let me see if
unless I've got him added as friends.
Let me see if I can get him. No.
I think there's.
Actually, I've got a load of.
Oh, top man.
What's going on here?
We've got the Guru in P4.
What's going on?
He's going bold. He's staying out. He's plumbing for another safety car at some point. Mantis is out in P5.
I just
can go at the end. Bryson in P6. KMB has put an old set of hards back on, but there's only 2 laps on them, so they're going to be quicker to warm up, albeit a little bit worse for wear. Everybody else is on mediums. So PW Jones in P8, all the way down to STLR in P17. They are all on medium tyres. The only one that isn't on fresh is Cagnis, P16. Now we're going to have, realistically, by the time the safety car period ends, which will be next time around, so we're going to restart on lap 15. So we're going to have 16 laps to go. The mediums can do that. They won't be very nice when you get there, but it is doable. Hilly, I think, is in the driving seat from the pace we saw in qualifying and his track position, and the guys between him.
Oh, the Guru's just at the barrier.
No, the Guru!
He's at the barrier. It wasn't that hard, but I tell you what, that's a brown trouser moment right there.
Oh, new overalls, please.
I'm going to pee in your seat. No, joking aside, the 2 new reserves, I'm really impressed. Desi has gone completely bold, as you said, Dan, with the no-stop strategy. He wants track position.
Yeah, Desi and the Guru both going for it. They're gonna have to rely on a safety car probably in about 10 laps time, 10-12 laps time, and then they're gonna go to a set of softs, I would wager. But then everyone will have to go to a set of softs. Otherwise, they'll have so little pace.
Well, Milos has
It's not
got in.
worth it.
Milos has got in, Dan. And
Good man.
I tell you what, if it's PW Jones who sent him an invite, that's just legendary stuff. Let's have a look. He should be taking over. Of course, once you've caught up to the pack, you can go in AI.
Yeah.
Where I mean, this is the downside of having the drivers be the host, is the invite side of it. But there we go. Has he been able to get into the car? Doesn't look like it yet.
I'll ride on board and let you know. What you need to do, Milos, if you're listening, when you join the lobby, you need to go in and ready up. You don't want to spectate. Otherwise, you won't be able to take control of your car. You need to ready up and then take control.
Well, he's done in the 66 number. I just wonder if he's a Liverpool fan and, in fact, a Trent Alexander-Arnold fan.
I mean, that's tenuous.
I mean, yeah, but that's the only thing I can think of with 66 that's any reasoning. But Hilly's going to take the pack, and he's gone. Oh, I tell you what, I did not like the way he set that up, as you got Dewey already on the back of him. So it was good enough from Hilly.
It was a late call, wasn't it, from the safety car to come in, so he didn't have a lot of time to set himself up for it.
As Cornish Mantis is making a move on the Ferrari of the Guru.
I don't know if Milos has got control of his car again, but he's got a decent gap behind him, so...
There we go, it's Ferrari versus Alfa versus Alpine. Oh, and it's the Ferrari who misses out. The Aston Martin's going to have a look at the inside. And in fact...
he's going to take that position
as
well.
I tell you what, that's a naughty little overtake, is that.
Guru's coming back at him. Oh, snap of oversteer.
And now he's just getting absolutely swamped.
Yeah, they're all medium runners as well. They've all got fresher tyres and they're going to be up to temperature. He's going to have to just sort of grin and bear it.
Oh, and he spun this contact.
Riyadh.
There's contact between the Guru and Kiabo. We got a DNF of STLR OG, and it's another safety car. And I tell you what,
does give.
this is madness, and this is just exactly why you want to be at the front of the pack.
But this is just typical Singapore, isn't it? That's what we said. The racing might not be good, but there's always something going on. But this gives Milos a chance to get back in. He says he's added you on the EA account.
I've got to add him, and then I can send an invite, hopefully.
Yeah, we had Milos was overtaken by Mantis, but after the safety car was deployed. So of course, it's the equivalent in sort of GT racing in the World Endurance Championship of a full course yellow. So Mantis had to give that position back. So if Milos can get back into the session and take control of the car, he'll actually be starting in P3 still.
Yeah, but I must say, I'm surprised Desi hasn't taken this opportunity to pit. He's the only one who hasn't pitted. Yes, he would lose a lot of track position, but I gotta be honest, can the mediums that are 3 laps old last to the end at this point of the Grand Prix?
So what we're going to have, so by the time we come off this safety car, it'll be start at lap 18, probably, so 14 laps to go. They could, maybe. The guys who've just pitted and put fresh ones on, yes, they can make it, as long as they're gentle. The big factor here is going to be how well KMB, Bryson and Mantis can hold off the charging mediums, because if they can hold them off until they can get the hards up to temperature. So 2, maybe 3 laps, and then negate the advantage of the mediums in maybe 5 or 6 laps. The mediums aren't going to be really that effective at getting ahead of them and then holding that position. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Hilly as well. See, the further this particular stint behind the safety car goes, the better for him. So he doesn't have the excess wear on his tyres. And it's more time that the likes of Jones, Kievo, Hako, Vapes, the guys who you would expect to be challenging for the victory, it's less time for them to sort of make ground up, overtake some cars, get through the field.
Well, Cornish Mantis, 3-lap old hards. We've seen he's had the pace in this race so far. He's definitely on for the race victory, and Bryson as well. But can they keep the medium runners behind? I'm not too sure.
I think they'll struggle. What they need is a slow medium runner near the front of that pack, which they don't have, to act as a bit of a cork. Almanac, you would say, is probably middle of the pack in terms of pace, so he might do it, but he's probably fast enough to go and challenge them, so that's not really going to help.
I just, at this stage, I'm not sure what Desi is doing with his strategy.
He's committed now. He has to keep going, because if he stops anytime soon, he's just going to be at the back of the field. He has to keep going and hope there's a safety car around lap 26, 27. That's his only option now. It's bold. I respect it.
I love it, because with his tyres being this old, Hilly is going to benefit massively from this.
Yeah.
If I'm Hilly, I'm burning everything to get out that 1 second.
Or do you want to save it until the medium runners appear so you can defend?
I want to push. I want to get out the 1 second from Desi. Desi, I think, will put up a fight against the guys behind him, and then he can manage it.
It's a safety car in this lap. No overtaking until the start-finish line, of course. I'm going to ride on board with Almanac in P7. He's the lead medium runner. Let's see if he can make headway against the 3 guys ahead who are on the fresher sets of the hard tyres.
I don't think Hilly's been in this position since his return this late into a Grand Prix in P1. So the nerves will be starting to appear. And I just hope he's not listening to the stream.
Even if he is, he's a consummate professional.
Oh, he's gone already. It's a naughty little restart there. And,
that's a quality restart.
Absolutely.
Second already. It caught Almanac napping.
There we go.
So the hard runners, as you were, into turn 1. We've got Vapes in the pits. I'll jump down and see what he's up to.
Well, let's go to P10. Actually, he's only battling Nellon. So let's go to P13. Kiabo. Now he's fixed his front wing. He is on the back of Kigenis. And the Guru, although he had an issue before, he's still running in P11. So he's still on the cusp of points.
Wing change for Vapes, and he's gone to the soft tyres, so he's going to be trying to probably go soft, and try and get himself the fastest lap.
It's a bold strategy, Carton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah. He'll be hoping there's another safety car in a few laps' time, I think, as well.
Yeah.
To get him back in contention. Mantis, Milosh's ghost car's now starting to drop back down the field. He couldn't get back in, unfortunately, which is a real shame.
Oh, there's contact between the Ferrari of the Guru and Kigenis. Kigenis has been in the wars today, hasn't he? As Kiabo's having a look. Nothing doing this time. Hako having a look as well. And you got to say, some of the quicker drivers of the division being this far in the, on track is a little bit surprising.
Well, they've gone for what the logical strategy decision would be at the times they pitted, but it's not played out that way with all the cars ahead of them. And of course, the different safety cars coming out when they haven't really given them the chance to make any ground up.
Yeah, so Cornish Mantos.
Hilly, though, he's got himself out of that 1 second window, like you said. But crucially for him, he's done that without burning any battery.
Yeah, and the fact that Desi hasn't pitted means he'll have to defend heavily from the drivers behind, and that is exactly what the Haas driver wants if he's to get his first victory in XP2.
But it's also what the likes of Mantis, Brisbane and KMB want for this initial stage. As much as they would want to go and chase down Hilly, and they will want to do that because they want to win, for the better results for them, they need Desi to stay out and to essentially hold them up, because it creates that DRS train that the medium runners then can't exploit. They can't use the extra pace that they've got in this early stage.
Move!
You want it to go
KMB up the inside of the hairpin. An absolute send. Didn't quite make it stick, but he's going to go to the outside. And I tell you what, KMB, he's getting his elbows out here. He's making some great moves.
Quality.
I tell you what, KMB.
Have a look as well.
KMB is the Verstappen of this race. Maybe not Verstappen this year, but maybe 21.
Yeah, Verstappen when he was the underdog.
Yes.
When people other than the Dutch liked him. So that's harsh. But it's true. Whoever's on top's always the villain.
Don't forget the Belgians. They liked him as well.
Oh yeah, well there is nationality, aren't they? So.
Yes, they are. KMB, I tell you what, this guy, he's loving life right now, isn't he? He's definitely having fun out there.
He is. You can tell him doing that crash helmet. Great big grin on his face. So there should be. But as we were discussing just before that sort of sequence of moves came off, the medium runner's not able to make any headway because you've got Desi holding this group of hard runners up, creating that train as we've got the Guru off at turn 5.
Ah, it's such a shame. He's had moments of great racing. You know, he has shown some good pace. As look at KMB absolutely pushing the but he's gonna have to be careful. He's sending down the inside, and again he likes that move, doesn't he?
He certainly does. DRS train now in effect. So see how good Desi is at holding off the rest of the pack. How quick he is in a straight line. If these hard runners think about it just for a second, as much as like the racing's great and we want to see overtakes, they need to work together here to hold up the mediums. Otherwise, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath in about 3 laps time when they start to make their way through. They have to hold them up and hold them consistently. They don't want to be wasting the battery entire life to overtake each other.
Yeah,
this is now a pipe dream for most of them. Like they need to forget about him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hilly, he's in a real nice sweet spot right now. He doesn't need to push that hard that he makes any mistakes, because 3.3 seconds with all this battling going on, it's only going to grow.
Yeah, it is. And of course, we're talking about sort of this train, but look at the likes of Kagan and Kierbo, the guys who you would expect to be coming through and trying to challenge and get up the order. They're nowhere near. They're not even in the points yet. They're not even part of this train yet. But still, there's no room for an overtake around most of this track anyway. You've got to try and elbows out and get your way through unless it's in a straight line. But those guys, they're not going to make any headway, and that's ideally what Hilly wants, but it's what anyone on the sort of the top 5 wants.
Yeah, and I think Bryson's having a look on the inside of KMB. Is he? No, he's not quite.
Not quite. KMB just wants to hold position because you know that Desi's going to have to stop. So he's he's essentially net podium now, not counting the penalty, of course, that he's got.
Yeah.
But if there's a safety car at the right point, Desi's in the money.
Well, you say that, but not if everyone stays out.
No, not if everyone stays out. But
Oh, KB's in the barrier.
oh, that could jeopardise all of it.
K&B in the barrier. He's been aggressive, but
he's going to have to try and get across into the pits, but it's blocked. He's going to have to carry on now with a damaged car.
Oh, I tell you what, he's struggling.
It doesn't actually look like there's that much damage, so I wonder if he's just cooked the tyres a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Desi's just made a mistake coming out of turn 4. And that's put Mantis right on the back of the McLaren. This looks as close as he's ever been, so we could see a move down with the usage of this DRS. And Desi...
Here comes Mantis.
Yeah, he can't really... I mean, he's done well there. Tries a little bit of a switchback, but there's just no tyre.
Right, this is now where in an ideal world, obviously Desi would stop, but it's going to bring him out behind Pipe Tech. Between him and the Guru, maybe even behind the Guru.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting Mantis to gain on Hilly because his tyres are younger, and he's quick. Look how much time he's already gained in one sector.
Half a second already, and it's closing all the time. But you say it, like Mantis has 30% battery remaining, Hilly has 60. Like you can tell where the pace is coming from. But of course, if he can burn and get into DRS range, it doesn't matter where his pace is coming from. That's going to give him the advantage. Desi's done well to stay with him actually during this lap. He's done okay, and if he can stay in that DRS window, maybe the unravelling we were thinking might happen won't.
And look at PW Jones. He doesn't look interested, does he, in doing anything? He's just going to stay there, watch it unfold, capitalize on any mistake. And this is experienced racing. I think that's what PW Jones has brought to his game this season. I think he's really improved on that side of his racing.
Yeah, the patience.
The absolute patience. Yeah.
Yeah. That we all know that. I mean, and I'm assuming that he'll be listening to this. Like, we know that Desi's going to stop, so he's got the top 5. We know that realistically, once Desi does stop, that field's going to spread out a bit, and he needs to stop either when there's a safety car or with a few laps to go so that he can try and make some headway if he can stay with the pack. So we know that there's going to be some field spread from that, and we know that we've got a yellow flag.
Pipe Tech.
Is that Pipe Tech?
Yeah, Pipe Tech's lost it.
Still running.
But look at the gap between Cornish Mantis already. It's 1 second, Dan, and I tell you what, Hilly should be worried now.
Yeah, he's inside DRS. Not going to have it down this straight.
There we go. Bryson on the back of the McLaren.
He's got it.
Switch back. Oh, and Dewey's in the wall. And he's got no front wing.
Right, here we go.
He's got no front wing.
We've got that field spread. Yeah. Desi's going to have to stop, set a soft tyres. They should just about make it to the end. It'll be 7 laps.
Yeah, Riyad Jamakovic makes it up the inside, and and he's missed his. He's gone down the escape road. I feel sorry for Desi because he's had a great race. Tried something,
and he took that gamble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just not quite paid out.
No, if there's a safety car in the next sort of 3 laps, that'll be so cruel. Because it would have been perfect for him.
Yeah, it will. But I mean, Hilly.
Now,
Hilly. I mean, he was in 2.5 laps. He's lost 4 seconds.
But can Mantis get past him? That's the question. You'd suspect so. But how often have we seen drivers be so much quicker and not be able to get through?
Yeah, and around this track, it's not the toughest to defend in these sort of corners, but I don't know, that DRS zone is pretty long. If you get any sort of good exit, you should probably make a move.
Yeah, I have a feeling, the medium tyres are starting to go off. They're starting to lose that edge on performance. So the the guys now in the top 3 may have just about done enough.
I don't know. Almanac is clinging on to the back of Bryson.
Yeah, but he's not got DRS. So Jones now is probably, if he's close enough, not quite this time, going to have a stab down the inside. Hilly's now the cork, isn't he, in the proverbial bottle.
Yeah, and I think Hilly has to do everything to defend because I don't think he's going to be able to come back at Mantis if he gets past. We've got a yellow flag, sector 3.
That's Hacko.
Hacko's had a moment there, so I mean he's still in P8, so
I think from what I could tell there, he was battling with K and B, so another KO from K and B.
oh, and he's making a move down the pit. Oh, I tell you what, I didn't expect a move there from Mantis. I expected him to be a bit more patient. Look at the inside because Bryson has sniffed an opportunity like a good opportunistic person. And
he's going to switch back and sit underneath the Haas. He's going to have DRS. So will Hilly.
He's there. He's
side
there.
by side. Bryce is going to have it. He's going to have the line into the corner. Hilly not going to give up though. Is he close enough? Not quite. But now that little scuffle there between them with Mantis taking the lead, the medium runners behind of Almanac and Jones right in the hunt once again. Jones now needs to clear Almanac because Almanac doesn't have the pace.
Yeah, but Bryson doesn't have the pace of Mantis. Mantis, you got to remember, he was leading the race earlier and he got away by a couple of seconds, so he's got the pace this week.
He was leading yesterday as well, last night, and ended up, he actually crashed at turn 3, lost the back end of the car on the throttle, so he's got a point to prove.
Oh, Bryson, snap of oversteer there on the exit, and that's cost him maybe half a tenth. Oh, and he's out! Mantis is out!
No! No, I've cursed him, no!
And the safety car's out, and surely if I'm Hilly, I'm pitting. I'm pitting for soft tyres.
Everyone has to stop for soft. Oh, that's so hard on Desi. That's so cruel.
Yeah, you say that, but it's going to bring him back into it. And with 4 people ahead of him having penalties.
Yeah, but he's going to have been pushing on that outlap. Jones is going for it. He's gone for track position.
Oh, well, I got to say, Jones just turned into a Ferrari strategist, and I absolutely love it.
He's trying it. Who else is anyone else staying out?
Hacko.
No, that they're all in. They're all in. Hacko staying out, bad call. I mean, he might as well, to be fair, with where he was, but the guys on the softs are going to absolutely lunch them.
Bryson P3, Almanac started P20. P20, can he get a last to first around Singapore? I mean, we are...
What happened to Hilly there in the pits? Did he get held up by another car? Was there
I'm not
a
sure,
driver
but
coming past him? Or?
But the Mercedes ahead of him is Ghost, so he'll get past him no problem.
Well, you say that he's gonna have to wait at the restart.
Oh, Mantis! I feel sorry for Mantis. He's absolutely fuming with himself.
Oh, Desi!
Desi's out as well.
What happened to Desi?
That is an excellent question. But Bryson right now is absolutely licking his chops.
Yeah. He is. We see Vapes coming in as well for another set of soft tyres.
Yeah.
So the big question now, can these medium guys get a good enough restart and hold them off? Personally, no. I don't think they can. I think it's going to be an absolute massacre.
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen is the mediums are going to absolutely splurge their ERS early to try and get the advantage. But because of the grip of the soft, they won't need to use their ERS. So I think the medium runners are going to drain themselves out of battery, and the softs are just going to pick them off.
Yeah, and it's it's easy enough. I think there's going to be no issues there for the soft runners. The only thing they're going to have to do is actually pull the move off. So we're not going. Well, No, we will. We'll have DRS on the last lap.
Well, if it comes into the end of this lap, we should have 2 laps because it should be lap 30 and 31.
Well, it'll be, well, 28, 20. Oh, yeah, 30, 31.
I mean, PW Jones wants this safety car to go the full 3 laps. It doesn't want to be coming in as early as possible.
Yeah, he's got Vapes there, who's still just entering in Sector 3, so he might get an extra lap out of it.
Yeah.
There's also the likes of the Guru, currently in P9. He's got the track position. See, if you're the Guru, right, and the safety car does another lap, are you staying out, or are you going to stop, put a brand new set on, and have, albeit marginal, fresher tyres?
No, I think
they're going to be up to temperature as well, because you're going to be able to push that little bit extra on the outlap.
No, I think he's left it too late now. I think yes. I mean, saying that, he's got a penalty anyway, so he's going to drop positions anyway. Yeah, I'd probably pit for softs at this point, especially with that penalty. If I didn't have the penalty, I'd probably stay out and pray a little bit.
Yeah, see, we had a safety car at this point last night. I stayed out on some knackered hards to be a bit of a roadblock for Neil ahead of me for the Wizard. And yeah, it worked brilliantly, but of course it compromised my race completely. So him staying there for track position, all right, it's not in the same circumstances I was in, but it's not really going to play out for him, especially with Milos's car behind him being a ghost car. You know, if that was an actual driver there, you might be able to work together and hold off the softs, but I don't think so. We might get a very, very late call here. Vapes is pushing hard. Because Vapes wants the safety car to come in.
Well, no, he wants it to go around again, doesn't he, so he can catch up?
Well, no, because if he's pushing now and there was a restart, he'd have tyres up to temperature.
Unless he could. Because
everyone would have backed up.
Yeah, unless he
could have another lap.
Yeah, but he could pit now. And
he could if he's got another set.
Yeah, because he'll have to push a little bit to get to them. Saying, no, thought about it, but I mean, saying that it is a 30-second pit stop, isn't it? So it is quite a while.
Yeah, it's a big stop. Second only to Silverstone in terms of the length, and it's a slow pit lane as well, which just doesn't help.
It just depends on that.
The safety car.
What can Haku do? Because if Bryson gets past, I mean, I'm definitely, if I'm Bryson, I'm going ultra aggressive in the first 3 corners.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're expecting the safety car in this lap, so they're going to have 3. It's just 3 laps of go hell for leather. Like if it was the old days, it would be quali fuel, maximum energy deployment, realistically, to get out of the 3 laps. I mean, there'd be nothing left in the tank. You'd be burn through the tyres, do everything. It needs a good restart, really. If Bryson can stick with Hako, I think it's game, set, match. But if the 2 medium runners get a decent restart, we might have some drama.
The one person who I'm interested in watching actually is the guy who I think's been by far the most aggressive, and that's K&B. He's right in there with other drivers. There could easily be some contact. We know he's aggressive from 4 or 5 moves that he's made this race, so keep an eye out for that. Don't be surprised to see him fall down.
I know, and realistically, he's not going to be under pressure from the Guru behind him, who's going to be focusing behind him.
The Guru, I love that name.
The Guru. Yeah, and so K&B's only got to look forward. Riyadh's not one of the quicker drivers in this tier, so I can imagine that move being one that he'll be eyeing up fairly quickly. Hilly ahead of him, mind, is another kettle of fish altogether. But get ready for the restart, we'll see what happens. I'm going to ride on board with Bryce and see how fast he can make the ground up and that move, if of course the move is on at all.
And he's gone. Oh, there's a bit of a wiggle. There's a bit of a wiggle.
Hacko. He has, and that's given Bryson the opening. That's moved on. But look at Almanac. Rewinding to turn 1. Almanac has to settle and hold for P4. Hacko's lost out.
And Hilly's made a move.
Look at the grip.
There you go, Bryson made a move on Hacko. Got past. Almanac is now past Hacko.
Around the outside of turn 4.
Oh, we got an AlphaTauri in the wall. It's Riyad Jamakovic.
That's Riyad.
He's gone. There won't be any safety car now. All virtual. It's soft versus old mediums. My money is on the Alpine.
Yeah. Already inside DRS range, because no DRS for 2 laps after the safety car. It'll be lap 31, our final lap, before we see any rear wings opening.
Look at the grip from the Alpine. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
PW Jones just pushing. He just has not got anything.
He's not got it, has he? Kaganis, we've got a mistake somewhere. He's round at turn 9.
Switch back.
Bryson, not quite. Has he got the pace? Can he get him on the brakes? Not quite. Needs to be careful not to.
Oh, he's gone for the switch back.
Take the wing off.
On board with Almanac, watching this unfold. And Bryson decides against it. Almanac, switch back. Almanac needs to be careful.
He doesn't need to go for the move, does he? He can afford to wait.
I'll tell you what, Almanac needs to be careful here.
KMB up to 4th, by the way. He's got past Hilly somewhere.
I'll tell you what, Bryson can't get past because of where PW Jones is, and it's backing Almanac into him. He needs to be careful, otherwise he might get damaged through a concertina effect here.
Yeah. Because it's so difficult, as we've just seen there with Bryson.
Oh, KMB! Down the inside! He's having a look everywhere.
He tried it. Almanac chopping across. Not today. Not today, pal.
Oh, I tell you what.
Bryson, he's got to go for it now. He's got to. He's losing so much time. Jones goes to the outside. Bryson squeezes all the way.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm not even racing, and my ass is twitching here. Oh, there's contact!
No, contact, Almanac on Bryson.
Oh, Bryson's the Aston. There's another contact. K&B has come.
He's in the lead.
There's been absolute murders.
Someone get Taggart in here. Oh, Hacko's now back up to 2nd somehow. Hilly into 3rd. Almanac's dropped to 4th. Pike Tech from nowhere somehow has appeared in P5. Kierbo up to 6th. Bryson from a position where he was challenging for the lead, down in 7th.
I tell you what, Hilly needs to get past Hacker and he's got the victory.
Yeah, KMB with that penalty. Of course, a lap to go. They'll have DRS as well, so it shouldn't... Well, you say that. I would say that. Hacker will have it as well.
Well, not if Hilly gets past.
Soft tyres will now be starting to overheat.
I tell you what, Hilly, chuck everything into this. Watch yourself, Hacko. There's going to be a Haas on your diffuser pretty soon.
Hilly approximately double the ERS as well to use compared to Hacko.
Almanac's gone into the barrier. He's gone for the scenic route. I think that does Almanac's efforts for the race. He's still going to pick up a podium if he stays where it is. Hilly.
Well, he will on track. I think he might be in a little bit of trouble for that collision with Bryson, unfortunately. But at the minute, Hacko somehow, from, well, a lap ago, P6 he was.
Yeah.
Struggling to keep soft runners in view, never mind behind him, is at the moment in a position where he's going to take the top step. But of course, all depends on whether Hilly can get past.
Hilly needs
a penalty for KMB.
Hilly needs an exit from the gods here to get this victory. I don't think he's quite going to do it, but if he is, he's pretty close. Off the hairpin. I mean, you've got to go for it. Up the inside. Up the inside.
He's gone for it. He's had a look. Oh, together.
Here comes Almanac. I mean, I don't know who's going to win it. I mean, at the minute, it's going to be... No, KMB's got a couple of penalties.
Looking at the penalties for KMB, yeah, it's 6 seconds, so it's going to be... realistically...
It's going to be...
Kievo after all this.
It's going to be Hilly.
Hilly's going to take it on track, but of course he had a look on the inside of Hacko. That might get penalised. We've got Almanac with that collision with Bryson that might get penalised after all of the
K&B
dust settles.
wins on the track. Hilly, Almanac,
He picks up
Kiabo.
another penalty at the end. He ran wide on the exit.
So
So
that's
he's got 9 seconds.
And look, he's down in P9.
Yeah.
Oh, and I tell you what, that last 3
Oh.
laps was a bit tasty for my liking.
We said it early on. We'll say it again. Singapore always brings the drama.
Hilly
Always.
wins. Hilly was nowhere with a couple of laps to go.
He lost out in the pit stops, but picked it up again near the end. He had to go for that move on the inside.
Yeah, well,
And I think we all would have done.
Yeah,
Hacko
100%.
left that door open for him.
It was open. Was he alongside enough to turn? Because my first instinct was, it looked like Hacko just turned in, and it was a bit of a lunge, but it was a controlled lunge, and that's the margins are fine.
It is, yeah. I mean, obviously, from our point of view, our limited points of view, we can't really make a judgment on it. It looked a fair opening, but whether he was alongside enough at the point of contact, stewards will probably make the decision if, because there's a complaint coming from Hacko. But
Oh, I tell you what, let's get Hilly in this chat because he is gonna be. Do you know what? I think he's gonna have mixed emotions because I think with 2 laps to go, he's probably thinking, "Yeah, I'm not gonna win this race," and then
yeah, out of nowhere takes it at the death. Spare thought for K&B as well. I mean, first on the track, picking up penalties costing him, but that it's his debut, right?
yeah, first race.
For K&B, yeah, a great racing debut for K&B, quality. Just needs to sort out the penalties in his game, and then we've got a real contender there.
Right,
It's Hilly, Almanac, and Kiebo.
Kiebo.
Almanac as well, by the way. P20 start. Didn't actually set a time in qualifying. Straight up.
Deathstorm basically just resigns as a steward.
He's had enough of me after yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean,
never mind these guys.
There's more incident tickets this week already than there has been for the majority of the season, I think.
It's only going to get worse.
Hello?
Oh yeah, mate.
Oh, he's here.
Kiabo, welcome in, dude.
Thank you. I don't know what to say. This is such a bad race.
Wait, you say that, but you got P2, so it's not that bad.
No, and P1 is probably gonna get a penalty for taking out Hago as well, or like, and Elmanek is gonna get penalty as well because he took out Jones. So everyone's gonna get penalties.
Well, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if P6 wins the race.
Yeah, I mean that could happen because I mean this race was. I mean I don't know. I pitted what 5 times. There's what a race.
Well, Dan will be conducting our podium interviews as normal.
Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you see what I did there? You know, I dictated the chat.
Yeah, top man. See, this is why we haven't commentated together, because you defer responsibility.
And I love that.
Right, so while we're waiting for the other guys to join, then talk us through your race. That man, you say you pitted 5 times.
Yeah, I mean I was
Of course we-
leading and I was on pole. You know that's great. I was leading for a while and then the safety car came and I stayed out the first safety car. Yeah, I mean then so many safety cars came and I had no more tires left after that. And a lot of wing damage because every time I kept going up the pack, somebody would spun, and I mean it's chaos.
Still ending up on the podium after all of that. With a couple of laps to go, we were seeing you down in sort of P6, P7, thinking, right, okay, so he's made it back to the points, but it's not going to be sort of the top end, and then carnage with 2 to go.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying
Uh,
to pit once and I got absolutely destroyed by two Aston Martins at the same time in the pit exit. We were hawking each other in that small entry, like four
it,
cars.
yeah, I mean, we said it early on that Singapore always brings drama. It might not be on the track, but it always brings some drama, and you know, it's proven me. It's proven us right again. But so, were you trying to avoid sort of debris on that last couple of laps, or was it just
I mean,
drive through and hope?
I was just hoping that I wouldn't get tapped behind or in front. I mean, I was just trying to survive at that point. Just finish the
Yeah,
race.
just trying to avoid the carnage yourself and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure Hilly's able to join us right now, but I have to say, up until the third safety car, I don't think we had too many incidents. And then, Hilly is going to join. And then it was just absolutely pandemonium. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
No, and I mean, we cursed it from the get-go, didn't we? Really, when we said, "Well, it's actually been an all right tier this year so far," and then you say
That's
carnage, pandemonium.
Absolutely. Well, race winner, shall I say? Not leader no more. Race winner for Crossplay 2. Hilly, what a mad finish to the race. What were your emotions like crossing that line?
He's lost for words, Ricky.
Yeah, he's the man's tongue didn't come through customs.
Is it lost in translation?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a stupid Rocky IV quote. Well.
Don't
I
date
mean,
yourself, that.
no, exactly. We'll maybe speak to Hilly another time, but for some reason he's not able to speak.
Can you hear me now?
We've got him.
Yes, at the end. Yeah. Well, my thoughts.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. When I crossed the line, I was like, damn. I feel so sorry for Kerbo here. I didn't want to hit him off. I was trying to close the apex, trying to force him wide, but he already turned in. Way too aggressive from my side, I think. And yeah, I stole his win. So it didn't feel good to cross the line first, to be honest.
We said that on commentary. We thought that knowing the kind of guy you are, you wouldn't really want to win that way. But you know, ultimately, you've got to be in that position to get the chance to win anyway. So you raced really well. The strategy was one thing I wanted to talk to you about. Like, at what point did you sort of decide to go on that set of hards and go long?
Like
Was it
when if there was a safety car after around lap 527, I was confident the hards were made it to the end. So yeah, I made my decision to go in and never look back. Then after the penultimate safety car, I had a nice gap, but then stupidly I hit a wall, so I had front wing damage, and Cornish and everybody could close in. And then yeah, luckily for me, Cornish crashed, so there was another safety car. Yeah, and yeah, at the end we all know how it went at the end.
yeah? Did you change your wing then at that final safety car?
Yes, I did. I had to.
Oh yeah, that explains the
Yeah.
position drop then.
Yeah. We were wondering what had happened because we didn't know you'd hit the wall, so we hang on, how's he lost like 2 or 3 places in a bit?
Yeah, it was very
See,
stupid. I
that's
was
why.
looking at my mirror and I hit the wall while turning in, so it was not very smart.
Oh, on the inside.
Well, no, on the outside,
Oh,
not steering in enough. So yeah,
ah,
rookie
dear,
mistake, I would
dear.
say.
Well, it hasn't cost you too much.
No, at the
I
end,
think.
it didn't.
Yeah. It's
So yeah,
is this first? It's definitely first win. Is it first podium since you came back?
yes, it is.
Ah,
So
It's nice to have you
it's
back.
a weird one, but it's very good to be back. I really enjoyed this race, and I'm really enjoying to be back. So yeah, I won't
It's nice
leave
to have you back.
anytime soon, I expect.
Top man. It's nice to have you back. Congratulations on victory, albeit a slightly marred one.
Thank you.
Either way, top step is what you've got. That's what you need to go away with for the time being.
Yes, exactly.
Do we have P2 and Almanac joining us, or
I think no, I don't think we are.
that's going to be it, isn't it?
That is going to be it.
Right. So we'll round the stream off there then. Thank you all at home very much for watching. We hope you have enjoyed the show. We certainly have enjoyed it, haven't we, Ricky? We've
Yeah,
had
it's
a
been
great
a
time
bit
seeing
of a rare one. Me and you in the commentary booth, but Singapore,
Yeah.
it's definitely delivered. I expect the stewards are not going to
gonna
be
be
too
busy, aren't
pleased,
they?
but yeah, next week. Where is it we head next week, Dan?
We are going to China next week.
China. Okay, so China.
To Shanghai for the penultimate round of the championship. Of course, all
Yes.
now decided in this tier, so it's all
Yeah.
fun and games for these guys. But of course, some of the other tiers still with one or even both titles to fight for. I'll be back on Tuesday. Whether I'll be with you, Ricky, or not, I don't know. I hope so.
Probably not. I'm probably at work. This was a bit. Yeah, this is a bit of a one-off, but yeah.
Yeah. But, I'll be back with somebody next week. I hope I might be on my own again, but who knows? I'll be here. Make sure you tune in for some of the other streams as well this week. We've got AM2 later on tonight, and then EU2 and AM1 tomorrow. EU1 on Thursday, I want to say, or have we stopped with?
No, E1's
No, it's
Thursday.
AM1.
Yeah. A1's
Yeah,
Wednesday.
E1 on Thursday.
Yeah.
AM races start at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 a.m. in the UK, 3 a.m. if you're in Central Europe, and EU races are 9 p.m. in the UK, 10 p.m. in Central Europe. But that's 5 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Maybe 4. No, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going back to the old times. So we'll see you again next week for the penultimate round in Shanghai. Thank you all again very much for watching. Good night.
Good night.